what's going on Egypt, generally speaking. I mean, a big newspaper with a long history has been flourished under the famous writer Muhammad Hassanin Heikel. I mean, during his time, it was one of the most important 10 newspapers worldwide. Our circulation was very high, and we were the #1 newspaper in Egypt and in the Middle East. A big school for journalism. And during that time, I received a telephone call in 1989 from the media anchor Ahmed Adib. And Ahmed, we graduated at the same year. He just returned from London. He was based in London, working for Al Sharq Al Awsat as bureau chief in Washington D.C. and returned back to Egypt. And he said, I'm gonna publish a new magazine, كل الناس. Would you like to work with me? I told him, yes, with pleasure. I would love to. I know him very well, and Ahmed is brilliant as a media man, educated, cultured, and so we started working in كل الناس. And after a while, I found this is a family magazine, a women magazine. This is not my career, and especially after I have seen some that I mean, women. I have nothing against women, but of course I encourage women in work. But this is a social magazine. This is not my career. So I apologized to Ahmad, and he said, listen, I'm gonna call you soon because we will publish a financial newspaper. I said, okay. I had to stay for 2-3 months. He called me and he said, we started meetings, come join us. So I went to his office. I found the prominent journalist Salah Hafiz, the former editor of Ruzal Yusuf, and Mohsen Mohammed. He was the chief editor of Al Gomorrah and the chairman of Al Gomorrah newspaper, as well Mahmoud Al Maraghi, Magid Atiyah, and as well Amr Adib, the brother of Ahmad Adib. So we started having meetings for almost 6 months. I mean, the 6 of us, and Ahmad was leading the team to publish Al Alam Al Yawm. So we started publishing Al Alam Al Yawm in 1990, and during that time I had to replace Magid Atiyah to be the business editor of the newspaper. I stayed there for 3 years. It was lovely because I knew many new colleagues, I mean, in our career, and I received an offer from the Gulf area. A friend of mine, the writer Ahmed Al Gamal, called me and he said to me, I mean, listen, in Al Khalij newspaper, this is the most independent newspaper in the Gulf area, and based in Sharjah in United Arab Emirates. So he said, we need to have a new business section, and you are the one. I said, thank you so much. So what was the offer? I asked him. Then I decided to join Al Khalij newspaper in 1993. Then I started working for Al Khalij newspaper in United Arab Emirates, and it was interesting period because during that time the economy of Dubai was taking off, and Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, the ruler of Dubai and the Prime Minister of United Arab Emirates, during that time was starting, achieving his dream in turning Dubai into an international trade hub. And that's why I have seen during the 3 years I stayed in United Arab Emirates, almost every day Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. I met him every day. He is inaugurating a project, or in a press conference, or launching a new project, or for example, I attended the first shopping festival in Dubai. I attended the first aviation show, Dubai Aviation Show. I attended every first big event started in Dubai during that time. He was gathering the businessmen, giving them all the facilities, asking everybody to invest, and to with only just one condition: to respect the law. He is protecting everybody living in Dubai on one condition: to respect the law. And as you know, people from different ethnic groups are living in Dubai and in United Arab Emirates, and that's why it turned out to be an international trade hub after 20 years. You see how Dubai is now. The airline company, the everything. It was a very good years during that time, and I was working with late chief editor and founder of Al Khalij newspaper, Terryam Omran. And Mr. Terryam Omran, God bless his soul, was the first chairman of the parliament in United Arab Emirates under Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the founder of United Arab Emirates. So I stayed there for 3 years. From there, I traveled everywhere, in the east and west, and as the business editor of Al Khalij newspaper, and I used to issue 10-page section, business section, 10 pages, and was very successful. The other newspapers tried hard to join us, but eventually they couldn't, because Al Khalij is a very successful newspaper. Later I met Mr. Ibrahim Nafa, the chief editor of Al Ahram. He was visiting Dubai, and I told him, listen, it's enough for me to stay in Dubai. I want to go back to Al Ahram. He said, you most welcome. So I returned back, and I started working at the central desk of Al Ahram. What does it mean, the central desk? The central desk of Al Ahram is where the most prominent journalists worked on it, like Makram Muhammad Ahmad, like Ihsan Bakr, like Salah Muntasir, like Salah ad-Din Hafiz, like Muhammad Abdul Manam. All of them, they worked on the central desk of Al Ahram, and at the same time they were big writers. The central desk, meaning you work as a day editor once a week and a night editor once a week. The day editor is in charge of all the details will appear in the newspaper the day next. The night editor is in charge of the newspaper for the second edition and the third edition, and if necessary, we will publish a fourth edition. And I started writing my column, my weekly column, in international affairs, international, regional, and and domestic affairs. And during that time, I used to travel to cover big events, political events, to travel to the United States, to travel to different countries in Europe, dispatched from my newspaper.